I'm Amy Rose White. I'm a psychotherapist who specializes in healing, transformation, and sacred partnership. Today's video is addressing exactly that question. What in the world is sacred partnership? What is meant by spiritual intimacy or polarity work? These are all phrases that are tossed around in the field, and they mean different things to different people. So I'm going to give you my definition and how I use them in my work and in my personal life. So essentially, we're talking about the conscious use of polarizing energies that exist in every human being in a couple, ideally, if we're talking about partnership, to create a depth of devotion, commitment, trust, love, and thus sexual heat that is lasting for the long term. And it moves beyond the fundamental ideas that most of us come to a relationship with, which is me. What's in it for me? What about my needs? What do I want? What do I need? To we, which is what's best for our partnership. And a lot of relating happens in that space. I give a little, you give a little, what are our agreements in our relationship? To something actually beyond me or we, which I would call the divine. Spiritual partnership is actually about intentionally creating a relationship that is an offering to something beyond us just as mere mortal human beings. And I know that's hard to understand, and I'm going to describe not just in concepts, but in practices based on what I've learned from my teachers about how we can actually cultivate that both as solo practitioners and in partnership and relationship with others. And relationships of all kind, not just intimate partnership. So when we think about recognizing and harnessing and embodying these energies, we're really talking about two dominant energies, as esoteric as this is going to sound, that make up the known universe. And those energies are consciousness and love. And according to my teachers, who've created amazing foundational practices, those are London Angel Winters and Justin Patrick Pierce, who wrote an amazing book called Playing with Fire. And they talk about consciousness and love as alpha and omega. A lot of spiritual partnership, conscious relating, other teachers in the world use masculine and feminine. You know, if you do a Google search for feminine energy coach, you can find a lot of people. And typically they tend to be twirling around in dresses and telling you to like wear pink. Not all of them, but some of them. And that really obfuscates the deeper meaning behind understanding what feminine or masculine energies are. And a less gendered and I think more spiritual way, language-wise, of understanding these is what my teachers use, which is alpha and omega. And again, these energies are present in all human beings, regardless of gender or sexual identification. We all have them, and we all kind of trend towards one a little bit more often than the other, most commonly. And there are exceptions to every rule, but for the purposes of this discussion, I'm just gonna even invite you to, as I talk about what are the dominant qualities of alpha and omega, you just sort of tune in and think about where you're most comfortable or what really nourishes you. Because as you'll hear me describe, I actually resonate way with alpha, as do many strong, independent, particularly self-employed women. But my deepest nature and my deepest longing is actually to go into omega. So what do I mean by that? Alpha energy is focused on the other. And as a psychotherapist, I spend all of my days in that space. I'm focused on the other. I'm perceiving. I'm looking into. I might be feeling, but I'm feeling the other. I'm experiencing another's consciousness and their emotional world. Versus omega is I'm on the receiving end. When I'm a client with my own therapist, I'm more in the receptive mode. I'm being felt. I'm deeply in my own body's experience. I'm feeling deep emotion and I'm allowing all of that to be there. And we can actually simultaneously experience alpha and omega energies at any time. The practice of the yoga of intimacy, which is trademarked by London Angel Winters and Justin Patrick Pierce, her partner, is really about learning to embody both. And they use a phrase called energetic agility, which is about being just simply aware of which one you're in, because it will dramatically affect how you relate to your partner. So let me say a little bit more about that and the polarity and why this philosophy and practice is so impactful, and so I found it more successful than anything else I've been trained in terms of couples therapy and counseling around relationships. And why I'm so excited that I've been using it for a few years now with my clients and in my own personal life. It's opened up a whole new realm of possibility for me. I find it's much more effective, and the reason why is that it really helps people understand day to day how their relationships go from deep and connected and loving and hot and sexual in the beginning and then kind of fizzle out over time. And this doesn't make up for, chronic dysfunction, addiction, untreated mental health issues. Of course, those are all areas of vulnerability that can destroy a relationship that I will discuss in another video at some time, because these practices aren't actually for everybody at every stage of relationship, in my opinion. I think you have to have some basic skills and capacities, but the tools can help us build those for sure. So the reason why that's so effective is that I get excited talking about this. I should have worn my sequins, but I'm in the middle of my workday and I had a break, so I just decided to hop on and make this video because I've been procrastinating it. Honestly, because it's so hard to talk about this because there's so much to say. So let me reduce it down so that we can move on with our days together, and I'll make lots more videos on this. Basically, we're in resonance or we're in polarity. Polarity is going to make you still feel sexually attracted to your partner after many, many years. In fact, that desire can grow over time. I've seen it happen in my teachers and people that I work with. And we can be in resonance, which we need. Resonance is the two of us watching a movie and crying together. Resonance is us, screaming at a football match or a game. Resonance is two people planning a vacation together. Like that's alpha alpha or omega omega when you're both crying. And those are wonderful spaces. There's a lot of trust and friendship and bonding and love that occurs in resonance. The danger is when we don't know which one we're in. And if you're a woman watching this and you've been in a long-term relationship and you find yourself nagging at your partner as if they are a child and reminding them to pick up their laundry, over 10 or 15 years, you will be in so much resonance as like a feeling like you have a failed business partner. The sexual heat will basically evaporate. So these tools and these practices that come from the yoga of intimacy really, really give us the opportunity to prevent that extinguishment from happening. So I'm just going to briefly go over 5 foundational pillars of their practices. They begin with awareness, which is I see. So right now, you are maybe focused on me and my voice. You're seeing how I'm presenting this. You're hearing my voice. Awareness is simply what it sounds like. It's consciousness. It is alpha energetically. It's I'm perceiving what's happening right now in this moment. So much of our time is not spent in the right now moment. The next pillar of that foundational practice is I feel sensitivity. How do I feel? What's happening inside my body? Because I specialize in working with trauma survivors, a lot of us actually don't know how we feel inside, or maybe all we know is numb, or all we know is tight. We aren't really in contact oftentimes with the deeper nuances of our emotional body, and these practices help widen that for us. And then most importantly, the top of the triangle of this model in the foundation is I allow. So whatever I'm seeing, whatever I'm feeling, both in myself and in my partner, I let that be there. I don't run around like a chicken with my head cut off in reactivity, trying to change them or myself. So that's a really integral part of the practice. And what comes from that, I'm doing this, I'll show you a diagram of what I'm talking about because I call it the hourglass. There's a foundational triangle and then we go up from there. What emerges from that when you engage in intentional practices with your partner and with yourself on a day-to-day basis is I trust. Do I really trust in this person that comes from consciousness and presence? And then what do I love? And I am regularly teaching clients to actually sit down, look in each other's left eye, open body posture, deep breath. I'll make a whole video on how to do that. And literally going back and forth saying these things. I see, I see, I see. I feel, I feel, I feel. We're allowing all of it. I love and I trust. So that is just a little tiny tip of the iceberg of the yoga of intimacy, largely outlined in the book Playing with Fire. And although it is their own unique take on the world of Tantra and polarity work and a lot of the Eastern mystical philosophies and sciences that have come to the West, I would say it is really, really relatable. And again, I'm really focusing on Justin and London's work because I have found it to be far more powerful than anything else that I have found. I'll link that book in the description below, and you can be sure I'll be making lots more videos about the topic. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or would like to work on your relationship from this place. Until then, may you be safe, may you be well, may you be free from harm, and may all beings truly know love. Bye for now.